Hello, good evening, friends, and welcome back to this Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting. And this year, I have been given the responsibility of Vice Chairperson of this board. And I welcome all of you on behalf of the board and Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I am along with CA Rajendra Kumar P, who happens to be immediate past chairman of this board. Along with we have CA Lokesh Kasat, who will be beginning with this new series of internal audit in this current year. And excellent work which has been done by our secretariat under the leadership of friends, internal audit day by day, the importance and the relevance is increasing. And with the technology and digitalization taking into account, lot of new methodology have been developed. The scope has been uh, expanded, and for the said reason, we are coming up with the shaping of this diversified series of these webinars on internal audit. Along with that, we are also planning to have the certificate course on concurrent audit, certificate course on internal audit. Also, we do have various seminars, conferences. We have 22 standards on internal audit, which are already displayed on the website of the institute. And we are planning to revamp these standards and coming out with the new standards also. So, friends, if you are interested in taking the session, being the moderator, or in any other way contributing for the publications, we are also releasing one publications on internal audit of NBFC, the work which has already been done by our previous chair and vice chair, and that also we will be publishing. We have already passed through in under this first committee of this year, and it will be released soon. Similarly, we are also coming out with various other publications on internal audit, industry specific, as well as on internal audit on sustainability. So please stay connected. All these publications will be available online. Motto is dissemination of knowledge for our members so that they can prosper and do the best of their work in this field of internal audit. With these words, I once again welcome you to this webinar series, and I request C. Rajendra Kumar P., Central Council member of ICAI, to share his thoughts and the work which has been done last year. So over to sir. Sir.
Thank you very much, Preeti Ben, the Honorable Vice Chairman of this committee, which I had the good fortune of chairing in the immediate past year. Very esteemed Speaker Abhishek ji, Lokesh ji Kasatu is here. We have our Secretary, the ever dynamic CA, Aarti Bansal, Arun Agarwal is also there. In fact, I fully endorse the statements made by Preeti Ben about the importance of internal audit, and the topic that has been chosen for today by the committee is of extreme relevance. As all of you know, members, this committee is a committee which strengthens the internal audit function and also ensures that the internal auditors are properly trained. In fact, it is our in-depth desire for many years that internal audit should be one of the key areas because as the statutory work either continues to disappear or the statutory work pays you lesser, it is functions like internal audit which add value to the management will always be available for our professionals to flower and then to grow. So, esteemed friends, it is a great privilege for me. Preeti Ben has given me an opportunity to speak. In fact, we're traveling together after a round of hearing of the respective bench that we are there in the board. And esteemed friends, continue to be there each Wednesday. We bring you live knowledge sessions from excellent speakers like Lokesh Kasarji and others. So thank you very much and wish you a great evening. Thank you.
Hello, friends. I also extend a warm welcome on behalf of our chairman of the board, C. Prakash Sharma. He's busy with another work, but he also extends the warm welcome to all of you. I am there to welcome on his behalf also. So, friends, welcome all of you and wish you a great luck. And thank you to C. Rajendra Kumarji for his excellent words of wisdoms and the blessings to the company. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to say thanks to my chairman as well as the vice chairperson for choosing the topic that's very relevant for members in today's environment, changing role of internal audit and finalizing the faculty, CA Lokesh Kasat. Now I would like to introduce today's speaker, CA Lokesh Kasat. He has a post-qualification experience of 17 years in the field of taxation, finance and accounts. And he is elected as a chairman of Jaipur branch of CIRC. He is a chairman of Young Member Committee of Jaipur branch of ICAI. He elected as a chairman of Young Member Committee of Tax Consultant Association of Rajasthan. He is co-opted member in Central Committee of ICAI and written a book, uh, Bloomsbury publication in the area of taxation as well, consulted various corporate house in the field of taxation and project financing, and taking training session of their employees. Received the appreciation from Chief Minister of Rajasthan for the development done in the chartered accountancy area. I would like to welcome our today's speaker, Lokesh Kasarji. As you know, the internal auditor is supporting the top managements in achieving their goal, monitoring risk management, and enhancing regulatory compliance efforts. Further, the post-COVID world, where organization is facing various issues like supply chain issues and changing workforce mindset, the role of internal audit is changing a lot. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to our speaker, who is now briefing you changing role of internal audit. Sir, dais is yours now.
Thank you, Aarti ma'am, Secretary of the committee. And first of all, thank you to Preeti ma'am, Central Council member and the Vice Chairman of the Board of Internal Audit and Management Committee. And thank you to Rajendra P. sir, Central Council member, because we are always there, and ma'am and sir, we always see you to enlighten the all members about the development of the profession. And thank you for choosing me as the speaker today, because the topic which I have been given is changing role of internal auditor. And Preeti ma'am and Rajendra sir, just want to highlight that, as you all know this, and as Rajendra sir has rightly said, and you also said, that the role of internal auditor being getting changed, and the management also want that rather than going for statutory audit, they are now more deep into internal audit. So that's why the overall role being changed. And in today's session, I will try and want to highlight about the various key areas in which, as an internal auditor, we can perform, in which, as an internal auditor, we can give inputs, in which, as an internal auditor, we can provide various types of solution. Although we have some auditing standards, internal auditing standard with us, yes, we need to follow them, but with those internal auditing standard, how we can get more into the company financial control system, so that various inputs can also get generated. So with this, I start my presentation first of all. So yes, Aarti ma'am, is the presentation is visible? Yes, okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So starting with the introduction, as it is written that internal auditing is a crucial function, as we all know, within the organization, providing independent, objective, assurance, and consulting activities. Friends, if we talk about and go with the definition of the internal audit, we will just identify that internal auditing definition, the old definition, is more focusing on the internal audit. The landscape we navigate is ever changing. Means with the increasing complexity and risk in the dynamic environment, internal audit not only stands for the internal control, it's also stand for the trust and resilience for the organization. I will say we are not simply as an internal auditor being a number cruncher or a fault finder. We are independent objective advisor. Means we should provide a critical lens through which organization can assess their processes, identify vulnerabilities, and unlock opportunities for improvement. Because till the time we will not go for the improvement word, I think we will end up only with the discussion that how to do internal audit. But till the time we don't realize that we need to give something whereby organization need to improve, and improvement will be the continuous process through which we can use various types of things, various types of inputs provided by ICAI, various types of you can say methods and tools provided by ICAI or available in the market and based on our experience. So talking about the definition, I will say that every organization has its some objectives like safeguarding of its assets, like proper management of funds, like proper internal control system. So to achieve the objective, organization develop certain strategies, and that strategies we can term it as internal control of the organization. So what the objective of internal audit in the old definition, if we go, in the traditional definition, if we go, so the traditional definition will focusing on, yes, identifying the financial risk, ensuring about the compliance and regulation. Now, friends, here my point is, first point in the presentation, my first question to you is, and what we need to rethink, that is the compliance part being done by internal auditor, or as of now the tools are being developed which are taking care of the compliance part. There are various tools now which are taking care about the compliance part. So is the internal auditor is required for compliance part? That is a big question. And second, financial risk identification, whether internal auditor is required for the financial risk identification. The answer will be, I will say, in small organization, yes, it exists, but as and when organization will grow, we will find ourselves that organization is taking care within organization using various technologies to control these financial risks and ensuring the compliance and regulation. So what will be the role of internal auditor? So in the changing environment, we should include financial risk, we should include compliance part, but we will also comment on the operational efficiency and the governance processes. Means if we again go to the traditional auditing part, internal auditing part, we will find that yes, internal auditing auditor is coming into organization. It can be of two type, either on the real-time internal auditing system, or you can say after a 1 month, or what you will, we say a post internal auditing exercise can be there. So where we are, either we are in the real-time world or we are doing post-mortem transaction. I will say slowly and gradually internal auditing is going into an area where real-time internal auditing is required. For that, we need to equip with various types of internal auditing software also, various types of internal auditing planning, various types of internal auditing strategy, because organization don't want that fraud happens or error happens, and the impact of fraud and error being known to the entity after a 1 month or after 1 year. entity wants, the fraud should be identified on the real-time basis, and rectification and proper measures need to be taken on real-time basis. So what internal auditing need to do? What is the importance of internal audit in the present scenario? So again, will be a theory part. I am just, you can say, for starting purpose, I am just briefing the importance of internal audit, that what exactly the internal auditing is. Just a briefing. After that, we will just go with some tools, and I will show you how the various types of internal auditing tools are there and what are the various types of management expectation is there. So briefing the theory part. First, ensuring compliance. Internal auditing always help the management to ensure various types of compliances, various types of follow-up of rules, regulation and policies, for which we all know that we should all have knowledge of those rules which are applicable on the organization, and we should accordingly report if any non-compliance is found within the entity. Second, about the financial integrity, if any type of non-disclosure of any material item is there or wrong disclosure of material item is there, yes, the internal auditing should enter there and accordingly make a report to the management. Further, the importance is we need to mitigate the various types of risk like safeguarding of assets, proper disclosures, proper reporting, proper maintenance of various ongoing thing, and last but not the least in the importance area, that operational efficiencies, which I will say that I will here point out more within the organization, that how the internal auditing should report majority things about operational efficiencies, means how to improve operational efficiency, because today management, yes, they are concerned about the compliance part, they are concerned about the financial integrity, they are concerned about the various types of risk, but they are making a system to control all these three. The gray area is operational part, because with the changing environment, how operation can be more improved with a lesser cost, we as an internal auditor can use various types of experiences which we have gathered. So friends, coming on to the topic about the role of internal auditor, how the role is being changed. Friends, earlier, if we go to the various types of organization who are going for internal audit, number one, I will take the name of banking system, whereby they are going for internal audit with the name of concurrent audit. In our entire presentation, I will take concurrent audit and internal auditor as a one part, because it's one and the same thing, only the name are different. Second, the listed entities whereby they are required to go for internal audit. And third, again, the entities which are covered under the Companies Act, and they are required to go for internal auditing. So these are the three organizations in which you can say mandatory internal auditing is required. My question is that with this webinar to all the attendees, what about the fourth organization? Means if it is not a bank, if it is not a listed company, and if it is not an entity covered under the Companies Act whereby internal auditing is mandatory, whether a entity which is not covered in these three areas will go for internal auditing or not, I will say a big no to that entity. Yes, from the entity point of view, entity will say, again, I'm talking about that fourth entity which is not covered in these three areas, whether that particular entity will go for the internal auditing. The answer will be, as an organization, why to go for? So here, one doubt. If an organization which is falling under the mandatory criteria, whether it is taking internal auditor only as a burden or as a compliance part, that it is written in the law, we need to go for internal audit. That's why internal auditing is there. Or the fourth organization, no, for the system improvement, for the organizational improvement, for the operational improvement, yes, we require internal auditing. So that is the question where we need to rethink. Means, if suppose in the entire law, it is being eliminated that internal auditing is being recommendatory, not a mandatory nature, whether an organization will go for internal auditing or not. That's a big question. So that's why we need to change our role so that management not only take internal auditor as a compliance part, it takes the internal auditor as a part of the business consultant as well, I will say. I am not saying you should go for business consultant, but in your report, you should majorly highlight the deficiency find in the organization in relation to its operational. So coming on to the PPT again, first point I have written is that expanded scope. When we accept any internal auditing assignment, friend, it's my recommendation that you should write scope part very properly. Presently, what is happening? Bank is having a pre-written scope. Generally, companies is also having a pre-written scope, and they are providing the pre-written scope, and for which we are accepting, and we are doing work according to the earlier experience of ours. I will first of all suggest here we should read the entire scope properly. We should add on something in that scope if required with the due discussion with the management. In fact, suppose the change is not required, then also we should discuss the scope with the management. From us, how many of us discuss the scope, pre-written scope with the management or the concerned people whenever an internal audit assignment is there? If you are discussing, it's good. You need to discuss or add on or delete something from the scope based on your experiences. So expand your scope. That will be the second point from my side in relation to the changing role of internal auditor. First, I have said operational targets. Make your internal audit not only on these three areas. You should make it in operational areas also. Second, the scope discussion with management. It should happen. It will give you the knowledge of client business, which our standards also say. Second, I'm talking about the expanded role. Friends, presently what we are doing, it's the good thing. What I am saying that what extra we can do. So second point is data analytics integration. Presently, there are huge data with the management in relation to either purchase, sale, or anything. So you should have with you and written in your scope about the data analytics. You should have the various tools to understand the trends. You should have various tools to understand the unusual fluctuations. You should have various tools to understand the risk, and you should have various tools so that which can give you the decisions. Yes, you should have. And if you will say that, oh, I don't understand the technology, friend, I will say, if you don't understand the technology, it's not your fault. Yes, we have cleared CA exams. It's not necessary that always we should learn the technology. Then you need to hire someone who knows the technology, or you should go with partnership with some CA brother or sister who understand the technology. So data analytics part is very important. Sometimes member says to the ICAI also that various new things are coming, how to learn, how to learn. So in internal auditing, data analytics is also going to be a big tool. And third, as an internal auditor, you should not only give your report, you should also be come in front for advisory role. I am not saying that management will take your advice as a direction, but you can give your advice based on your understanding. The problem is that we have stopped advising. Earlier, what had happened if an organization is growing, then it comes to a financial professional and takes various types of advice. Presently, the environment is like that, and the social media is like that, that various types of tools are available for giving the advice. Various types of businessmen are taking advices from the various persons who are saying you can say it as business coach. Yeah, I am a business coach, and yes, I will provide you various types of advices. So I will say I'm not commenting on any business coach, but I want to say if a person don't know about the organization, how he can comment on the organization. If a person don't know about the business to be done, how a person can comment or give advice on that business. Being as an internal auditor, you are the person who have cleared the CA exams. You have taken the experience, you have discussed the scope with the management, you have used various analytical tools. Why you can't give the advice? Just show the pros and cons of the organization, that what exactly is going within the organization. So that is the role which we as an internal auditor need to accept. In banks, what is going on presently? We are just filling the pre-decided format. Why as an internal auditor we can't discuss about the various operational part in bank? Why we can't advise the senior management about the various activity which can be improved in the bank system, in the bank branches? Yes, we need to try. We need to try. I'm not saying it is a mandatory requirement. But if we will try, bank will understand. In an organization, in a private organization, except for bank, the management is keen to learn, keen to know about the various types of advisory. The thing is, we need to give in a proper style. So please also consider the importance of the advice. Now coming on to the technology part. As we all know, technology is a crucial thing. And I will say gone are the days which are focused simply on the sole financial control. Today we need to play a much more expensive role, I will say, for operational effectiveness, for risk management system, for regulation. We need to accept the technology. We understand that, yes, we need to go for the say trust with the stakeholder, trust with the organization and all that. So before going for technology, have you ever heard about the 5 C's of the internal audit? What are the various 5 C's of the internal audit? I will come on to the technology part. But before that, what are the 5 C's report in the internal audit which should be reported? Friends, you all can note it down. If you have a pen or paper, I have not made a separate PPT, but just sharing with you some of the thoughts whereby we are doing these things. A professional is doing these things. So when we talk about internal auditing, you need to answer those 5 C's. First C is criteria. Criteria means what particular issue was identified and why was the internal audit necessary for that particular area. Means during your internal audit process, you should understand the various types of issue which was identified, and also make sure that management will understand that why you have conducted or included that part in your internal audit. I can understand in the private organization, the uh, identification of criteria is very hard, but based on your finding, you must find out the criteria about the particular issue. Second C is condition. Condition means how as the issue in relation to the company target or expectation, means what are the various types of condition exist that arose to that particular criteria or particular issue. Means does the company is having a benchmark which was broken, or any and other condition which was not satisfied, which gave rose to that particular issue. You need to identify the condition with the issue. If you are doing that, believe me, management will understand you, and management will want to make a long-term association with such internal auditors. Management understand that yes, she is my internal auditor, and she understand the issue. She understand, or he or she understand the conditions. Third C is cause. Cause means why did the issue arise? Who was involved? What processes were broken? And how could the issue have been avoided? Means I will say, you can say the reason for that issue. First point, the C was identifying the issue. Second point, the condition, that what are the conditions which gave rise to such a issue. And third point is who was involved, the person involved, what was the hierarchy of the organization, and what was the lacking in that hierarchy which gave lightning to that cause to get enlightened. You need to identify. The fourth one is consequences. And these are the new areas. Yes, if you will say that where it is written, I will say it is not written anywhere. It is not written anywhere. We need to understand that how we can incorporate, because the topic is changing role. So consequences, the fourth C is consequences. So what is the outcome of the topic? Are issue limited to internal matters, or are there risk of external consequences? Means will issue will affect the internal processes, or it will damages the external points of the organization. With that, you also need to highlight the financial consequences. Financial consequences means what can be the possible loss to the organization which will result in a current loss or a future loss to the entity. So you need to understand. I will again repeat it. First, identify the issue. Second, checking the benchmark. Third, who was involved. And fourth, the results. What are the effect of that issue? How the problem will affect the organization, either internally or externally, or in both. Because if you will not able to understand, you will not able to adopt the technology. I am saying, when we will see some tools, I'm not showing the tool in you will say in first 1 hour, because if I'll show you the tool, you will say okay, that's the thing. Yes, we need to learn. But I want to say that please understand that these, if you will make these approach and then you will use the tool, you will understand the data very well. The fifth C is, first one was criteria, second one was condition, third one was cause, fourth one is consequences, and the fifth one is corrective action. With your internal auditing, you must understand, after understanding the problem till reaching the conclusion, that what measures are to be taken to fix those problems, to fix those issues. What specific asset will management take to resolve the issue, and what type of monitoring or review will require? Means when the solution being provided from your end, how as an internal auditor you will guide management that use these things, and after using these things the same error will not repeat. You need to make your approach in such a way whereby you need to keep these 5 C's in your mind. And whenever we do internal audit, if you will keep 5 C's in your mind, believe me, you will find yourself more better. You will find yourself that management is trusting you. You will find that all of your recommendation has been incorporated by management in a proper way. So coming on to the technology part after taking those 5 C's. So what is the importance of technology in data? Friends, if I go to the bookish definition, yes, it is written here in the front of your screen. Technology plays a crucial role. We all know that technology plays a crucial role. It enhances the efficiency, effectiveness, accuracy. We are having various types of n number of tools nowadays, n number of software nowadays, which can analyze a large volume of data and identifying the various types of trends, patterns, and do various types of analysis. I will just show you a small thing. Let's take a quick tour of a small thing for analyzing a large number of data. Just I will show you. Suppose I am in a organization, I have identified some of the transaction and I have having a summary of it. So these are some summary. You can see there are number of accounts with some account number and various types of transaction being happened. Okay, I have taken an understanding of the organization, that how many transaction was taken place and so on. So a small tool is there. I am selecting the data and just typing data analyze. And friend, you can just see various types of things being given by Microsoft Excel itself about the various types of pattern. I will not show that how you can use here, because this is a random data which I have taken. This is only an extract of a data which I have taken. But here Microsoft Excel will say you that what exactly you want. It will provide you the suggested questions. For example, percentage of total field. It will prepare a chart for you. It will prepare everything for you. So data analyzing nowadays is not a big tool, because organization itself can do it. How as an internal auditor we can just ensure that yes, the entity requires us. If analyzing can be done on a single click, then what is the requirement of internal auditor? My point is that why organization requires you if such type of analyzing can be done? Yes. So friends, that's why I'm saying, if we say technology, if we say analysis, yes, the days are gone. The time is changing very, very, very fast. Nobody require internal auditor or a professional nowadays to analyze the data. They have their internal team, they have their internal software whereby data is being analyzed on a single click. So what we can do? Now, coming on to the technology part in for advanced purpose. First thing is trend analysis. From the past year data to the current year data, all thing has been done by the machine. Here, you can take away the various types of output given by the machine. Taking on, yes, taking on the current scenario, understand the trends, identify the current scenario, and what can be done in the future. You need to use technology in such a way. Means you need to identify, you need to break the trends in various points. And for that, you need to understand how that particular trend being recorded for. My point is that how the technology is working, you need to learn. So the technology, if I again I will say technology, you need to develop skills. That's why I am saying you should have an analytical skill. Analytical skill means identifying how the machine is working. After that, use the machine. Otherwise, if I will say importance of technology, nothing. If I am using a feature of Excel, okay, analyze the data. If I am using various types of software for identifying the trend, but till the time I do not know how the machine is taking the inputs and what processing has been done within the machine, I will not able to resolve my query and not able to use the advanced technology which we will going to soon discuss here. We should make a clear communication about the audit findings with the management and attentions about the various types of points. Now, I will talk about again coming on to the technology part. Friends, that about the if we talk about changing role, it is very necessary, very much necessary that we should talk and learn about the technology part in detail. How many of you, I will not take question answer session right now. If anyone is having question, just you can write. But whether we are involving in internal auditing, a technological part means a feature known as Power Query or Power BI, what you call the Copilot version of Microsoft with us? And the answer is no. Please develop these things. Involve such person with you who knows these types of things. Suppose if I do not know Power Query, if I do not know Power BI, what should I do whenever I do internal audit? Whenever I understand the trends, whenever I understand the various types of patterns. So I need to make a process note for that internal audit and incorporate those processes that how I am doing the things in various types of Excel tool. Friends, just believe me, entire auditing can be done through the various types of tools in Microsoft Excel. We don't require any type of software because software is what doing. Software is providing the formulas. So that's why you need to understand. If you are not able to understand, you involve a professional with you. Now, when you develop your tools, when you develop your things, when you understand your processes, and then you put your data, the inputs in your processes, which has been developed at your end, and then put those data into your self-developed system, you will find the trends which has been given by a, you can say, a tailor-made software, are different from what you exactly require. So here the summary of this particular slide is, you need to understand the new features of the various tools, and I will suggest you, do not go with entire ready-made thing, go with the tailor-made things, whereby which is developed self by you. Tailor-made doesn't mean that it should be tailor-made by outside IT person. Involve a professional which knows about these tools. It can be youngster or it can be anyone, but yes, in today's scenario you require. In today's scenario, if anyone will say, I don't require, I want to go with the already traditional point and I want to do all audits with all those traditional point, I will say this topic is not relevant for such member, because we are talking about the changing role, and in changing role, yes, the technology part is there. So that about the technology. So what are the various challenges? I will also come on the standard part also. And if any member is having any type of query, then the member can write in the chat box also. I will just receive it. So challenges faced by internal auditor. First challenges is complex regulations. There are n number of regulations, n number of things. If you require that internal auditor should remember each and every regulation, it's going to be a very hard task. But organization is just like, you can say, a patient. When a patient goes to a doctor with a expectation, yes, this is a doctor, and yes, he will do the entire treatment. The same is the requirement of management. When management goes to auditor, either internal or external, management is of expectation that this will be the person who will find the entire lacuna in my organization in relation to various types of regulation, which sometimes not possible for us. Sometimes risk assessment again is one of the major areas. Management expectation is, yes, we will identify 100% of risk, but it is not possible. And one more difficulty when we talk about the data, the quality of data, the genuineness of data is also one of the questioning areas. Means the organization which the data is coming to us, whether that particular data is genuine or not. My one of the question to you, all of you, is that again, suppose you are at the bank audit and bank has given you the data, okay, of a financial record by saying, yes, it is generated by the banking software. Is it the accurate data? How will you ensure that whether this data is accurate or not? That's a big question. Whether it is a possibility in the system to manipulate that data, or someone is manipulating the data and not giving information to us, or not giving information to the entire system. Friend, this is a big question. That's why system audit is required. That's why we can say the importance of system auditing is there. Just hold on, just hold on. Mm. Mm. So my point is, I'm not commenting on the banks. I want to just make a point that quality of data is also one of the key areas. So you need to understand the quality of the data before accepting any type of things. Now, coming on to the future of internal auditing and what the thing is. I will say the standard of internal auditing encompasses two areas. First, attribute standard, and second, professional standards. What are the attribute standards? Which talks about your competencies, which talks about the integrity, which talks about the objectivity of the internal auditor. It ensures that we deliver a high quality audits that stakeholder will rely upon. So talking about the future, you must understand, yes, all thing is being done. All thing is being done to ensure high quality auditing standards. And second, the performance standard which our standards talk about. The processes and practices we flow to conduct external internal audit, effective internal audit. You can say the method of doing internal audit, entire from the planning, entire from the engagement and acceptance of the letter, and up till the follow-up of the entire internal audit process. So overall standard talks about these two areas: maintain the quality, maintain your process, and do the work. Therefore, if I say there's a standard 1210 about which talk about planning, which ensures that yes, and as an internal auditor, your work should be like that. You should meticulously plan your audit in a proper documented manner. There is an engagement on performance, communication, and there are a number of engagement. But considering that engagement, how the internal audit area will grow. Now, friends, I am coming to my point. Till the time I am talking about, yes, you can say the tension areas where we should really think upon. Either it is 5Cs or either it is the machines which are coming. But what about if we talk about what will be the future of internal auditing? Is internal auditing really required? Or organization will say, yes, we don't require internal auditing. So first, you need to understand that you need to audit the machines. If you will say, yes, how will we audit the machine? This is one of the areas which will come in future. When we talk about the advanced technology integration, when we talk about the AI, when we talk about the machine learning, and we talk about the automation, you need to understand, yes, you need to check the machine and you need to question the machine whether the machine is exactly working properly or not. With this, various types of test check need to be done. Various types of, you can say, a rerun need to be done, whereby you can ensure that yes, machine is learning properly. And believe me, here is one threat is there. Suppose a result is given by a machine, and we as an internal auditor has also developed some of the areas, and we identified, yes, the output given by machine is true because what we have understand the organization and what we have generated the output according to us is coming same. The threat is why organization will call you again. Why? That's a big question. If you are saying yes, the information given by a machine is correct, and information which is generated by me is the same what given by the machine, then why the organization will call you next time? I am not saying that you should make a question about the machine, that yes, machine is always giving wrong. Here you can just give the inputs, what additional now we can do. If the both inputs are same, both the results are same, both the outputs are same, what can be the future course of action which management can do to bring more changes within the organization. Then only your scope will increase. Otherwise, believe me, machine will take away your work and management will say on a day that we don't require internal help. Yes, management will say if you stop learning, if you stop advising for future. Because every time whenever someone talks about the machine, the points are trends, data analytics. Friends, believe me, in the coming 1 year, all these things will gone away. Management itself knows various types of things which will show the results to them about the future. So standards are not static, I will say. As a professional, they are continuously reviewed and updated. So you need to understand your standards very well. You need to understand about all things so that organization can focus on improvement with the advices of internal auditing. So talking about types of internal auditing, I'm coming to that ADB part also. Now what you can do, let's take an example. You are an internal auditor of an entity. Let's take example that you are an internal auditor of a hotel. Okay. If I can write it anything. Yes. You are an internal auditor of a hotel. You have identified various types of areas in your internal audit. Yes, it includes sales, it includes purchase, it includes operations, it includes employees related to salary part and all that. First point to you, all of you, whether the attendance of employees will come into the purview of internal auditor. Answer will be yes, it will be the part of internal auditing because the salary is directly linked to the attendance. Now, if you are auditing, suppose a hotel, I have just randomly taken an example of hotel, randomly, not pre-decided. If any one of you wants any other organization, I can just take that example also. You have seen that attendance mechanism, what exactly the entity is doing for taking attendance of their employees. It can be hotel or any other organization. Why, as an internal auditor, you can't suggest a proper attendance mechanism which entity need to follow? Suppose if it is manual, you will suggest go for a, say, fingerprint or face recognition attendance. If it is face recognition attendance or fingerprint attendance, you can just comment on the place where the machine is placed. You can advise management that what are the various types of shortcomings in that machine. Friends, I am saying, I will just say how to fool a machine. You will show to the management, your process is not correct. How many of you know that face attendance mechanism is there in the organization or a fingerprint attendance? You know it can be fooled. Face attendance mechanism can be fooled through an iPhone. Yes, I have done that and I have showed to the management. So what we have done, we have suggested management that where the machine is kept, also place a camera on the top of the roof, whereby you can see that how employee is giving the attendance. It's a suggestion, it's an advisory. So my point is that with the internal auditing, identify the root cause, that what I will not say root cause, identify the root areas where that system can be broke or may be broke in future. How to stop that is the advisory part. So coming on to the hotel again, you have identified that there is a chance that a room has been allotted to a customer and customer has paid the cash, but no booking in the system being captured. Possibilities there. How to avoid that? You need that the fifth part, if you will say the 5 C's. We are going to the root cause, we are going to the person involved, we are going to everything, but we need to come on the suggestive mode also. In the sale of restaurant, you have identified, if you have experienced that yes, restaurant sale, the entire sale has not been booked for, the management is more concerned in that areas. So these are something, there are a number of examples which we can take and discuss, but my point is come on this suggestive role. So if we talk about auditing in computerized environment, I will say auditing in computerized environment is divided into two types. Auditing of, you will say, internal control system and auditing application control system. Internal control system is what entity exactly doing, and application control system what the software is exactly doing. So you need to correlate these areas. What are the general controls which entity has made up upon, and what are the application control which has been covered over those general control, and after that only we can decide that how an internal auditing scope need to be remodified or need to be changed or need to be accelerated. How the internal auditing, after understanding the general control and application control over the general control, how as an internal auditor we can understand the things. The point is that we are not taking these 2 points seriously and simultaneously, because everywhere now the EDP audit is there, what you call a computerized environment is there. People in the organization and the employees of the organization keep on saying it is generated by the system, and we from the last say 5 years we are doing this only, we need to click this and it is a report generated by the system, so you need to accept it. And we opens, what we do, we opens the physical files and we'll go come bring those physical files accordingly, we will do all the work. So I think these are not the proper way to do the internal auditing. These are not the proper way. Physical files, yes, in some areas we need to check the physical files and we should check. But parallelly, how those physical files being presented into the system being taken care of. If you will see, the internal audit process of PSU's bank and internal audit process of private sector bank are entirely different. The documentation part is entirely different. When we go to PSU bank internal auditing, we will say, bring on the physical file. And when we go to the internal auditor of a private bank, we will say, show the copies which are on the system. Yes, that's a difference. Although both are physical document, it is physically present, it is present electronically. Means the concept is same. The concept is same. And the method is also same. But the mode of doing the work is changing. Mode of presenting the work is changing. So you as an internal auditor must understand that you should be expert in all the areas, whereby I will say two areas, whereby you should understand the internal control, whereby you should understand the various types of risk assessment and what you call risk associated with the software. And you need to involve a professional expert who understand the software. If you are not doing, I will again and again say, you will going to lose the entire work slowly and gradually. So coming on the types of internal audit, I will just show to you. So first audit is compliance audit. As in compliance part, I have already made it clear that various types of laws you need to follow and you need to do the audit of all those compliance part. The second part, which we are doing in the public sector entities, is internal financial audit. Again, these part need to be expanded because we are not here now till only the financial aspect. We need to go in the operational aspect also. Means if company wants to dive into the audit findings in preparation, say there are companies there which want that there should be no reporting to be done by the external auditor. Company want a clean report, or you can say a very much clean report from external auditor, and company wants that my internal financial audit should be done in such a way that external auditor not able to report anything, because if any weakness is there, we will just incorporate those weaknesses within the time. So then only I will say internal financial audit nowadays is important. But are the company really concerned about the external auditor comments? That is a question. That is a question. Means just a moment. Means suppose if an external auditor is making comment on a financial statement and company is saying go and comment, what he can do? He can just do comment. But if a company want, no, we don't want external auditor to do any comment because in future my user will get a wrong picture, then only such company will understand the internal financial, the importance of internal financial audit. So that's why I will say compliance audit and internal financial audit are important, but companies are incorporating such things, such software, such automation system, whereby company is taking care about the compliance part and about the financial part. So if it is automated, then how as an internal auditor you will survive? So you will need to add the operational part in internal audit. So changing role, operational audit must be added on. The third area, the new area, yes, we talks about various types of environmental audit also. What is environmental audit? I will say, as companies become continuously more environmentally conscious, Some companies take steps to conserve the resources. Means how company safely sourcing the raw materials, minimizing greenhouse gases during the reproduction, utilizing eco-friendly distribution methods, and reducing the energy consumptions. So company covering triple bottom line reporting may perform internal environmental auditing if the company is really concerned. And presently, yes, it is a new area whereby companies are concerned. And we understand that various types of auditing is there. There's we will in you can say ECG reporting is also there, whereby this type of things being coming off. The next one is system audit, or you can say IT audit, whereby we can comment on the control system adopted by the entity using various types of software. You can say during internal audit, we need to review the technology, we need to review the hardware, we need to review the software, we need to review the security documentation and backup recovery system. Means the IT accuracy is one of the question while doing a system audit. It is a part of now internal audit only. And the last, which I always say, the entire internal auditing, which is going to change all the roles, is performance audit, what you call operational audit. So this is the changing role of internal auditor. You must incorporate in all these four areas. Means whatever audit is being done, you need to use a performance audit tool with you. I will say performance audit as an internal auditing which is entirely focused on performances, pay less attention to the processes and more attention on the final results. Means what the performance is, okay, what the final result is, just go to that. And whether the final result is helping the entity in what way. Suppose an organization is there, I will just show you, say, a example in which, say, a team is there, a captain is there, say a sports example we will take, say a cricket match is going on. And the captain of a team direct a player to stand at the boundary side, that please stand on the boundary side. Okay, that player goes and stand on the boundary side. Slowly and gradually, that player which was standing on the boundary side, slightly coming in the front side without any information and not being noticed by the captain, he silently changed his position. Luckily, the batsman plays a shot at that new position, and that player takes a very good catch at that particular new position which was self-changed by him. Everyone was appreciating that player, the audience was cheering that player, the commentator was shouting like anything that what a player, what a catch. Only the captain was silent in that case, because captain knows that this particular player has not done the correct performance which are required. He has changed his position without informing me. And that is the role of internal auditor, because in this example, captain was directly watching. But when we come to organization, the captain, what you call the governance people, are not there at every stage. They don't know that which employee is changing his or her position without information, which process being violated without information. although the output are correct, the results are correct, the public is appreciating, the stakeholders are appreciating, but as a captain of a team, you know, or you want to know that in spite of a very good performance, what are the lacuna within the organization? That is the main thing. And that exactly how the future is. Everybody wants to know. So suppose I am sitting here, you are listening to the entire seminar. The question is whether your employee is working according to your direction or not. Means your employee is making a report. He is making a report using various types of AI tool, and he has uh, put the information in any, or you can say various open AI tools, and put the client information on that AI tools and printed the report and make the report using open AI tools. All the client information has been leaked out. He brings a final report printout, or final report, I will say, PDF file or a Word file to you. You have seen the report and told him, what a very good grammar you have written. Well done. What a well prepared report using various types of graphs, using various types of charts. Well, wow, what a report. But you don't know that your employee had exposed the client information in the public platform. If you don't know, that exactly the role of internal auditor is there. That internal auditor need to check, in spite of the better result, in spite of everything, what are the key risks which can affect the organization in future. I was auditing one organization. There was a PDF file. I have observed that employee had converted that PDF file using a various conversion tools available online, and he has put some important file on that tool and converted into PDF, changed the year and reconverted into PDF. I said that what the hell he is doing? He has exposed the quantity information at the outside platforms. Is this the risk? Yes. As an internal auditor, you need to inform. As an internal auditor, you need to write that these are the things. But again, we are not able to conclude these things because sometimes we find that management is also least concerned about these types of finding, but these types of finding may affect the future of organization. We need to advise that. We need to tell the management what can be the impact of these types of lacunas in future. After that, management every time will want that yes, internal auditing should be there who identify these types of things whereby the entity is not following the process which was given by the management. So I was coming on to the again performance audit. So company will likely to have the set performance objectives, or you can say some matrices that may tie to performance. As a result, an internal auditor assesses the outcome of the objective, which may not be easily quantifiable, but you need to comment on that process. For example, a company may wish to have, say, some expanded company want to use the various types of suppliers. The internal auditor, while commenting on the purchasing process, may analyze the data about ordering or about the pattern in which supplier being used by the entity. Means, are the suppliers are real? Are the suppliers not the relative directly or indirectly of employees? Because in many organizations we see, my question, just understand this situation and tell me whether it is fraud or not. A company had decided to purchase a raw material. Okay. for rupees 100 per kg. Company has decided that this is our basic price, that we will purchase a raw material 100 per kg. Okay. So the quintals of order need to be given. The purchase manager of the company knows about the fact the budget of the company is 100 per kg. Purchase manager has used his relative and asked his relative to empanel with the entity and give the quotation of rupees 100 per kg. Okay, the information has been provided to the relative of the purchase manager who is having the knowledge about the price. Okay, but company is also ready to spend 100 per kg. Purchase manager didn't disclose that the vendor who has given the quote of 100 per kg is related to him. Okay, great. And the vendor supplied the appropriate and quality things which was exactly required by the entity in rupees 100 per kg. Means there is no compromise in quality, there is no compromise in quantity, there is no compromise in anything. But purchase manager didn't disclose that that vendor is my relative or friend. My question is whether it is fraud or not. Whether it is fraud or not. Friends, I will mark as an internal auditor, I will mark it as fraud. How I will able to identify, as I told in my entire presentation, you need to involve yourself. You need to use the various things, tools. I guarantee you, you will find the things. But the point is you need to give time to that entity. It doesn't mean that the entire day to need to be spent, but yes, whatever time you spend, it should be with proper planning. It will, in this example, it will be termed as fraud because purchase manager is not authorized to involve his relative. So as an internal auditor, we have given the advice to that entity that while selecting vendor, take a declaration from all of your employees that nobody will involve any type of relative or friends in the entire empanelment process, and if involved, the proper information being need to be given, otherwise following action can be taken. So these are some inputs given by the internal auditor and accepted by the management. It shows that how we can be, yeah, we can go for a value addition in the management. So we should involve in, I will say, if I conclude this part, I will say we should involve ourselves in the management of the entity. Because till the time we will not involve ourselves in the management, means as a consultant, I will not say consultant again, I will say it as an internal auditor advisory. Till that time, it's going to be different. Another area, it's only a area for some of the organization only. The new area is construction audit, which is used in the real estate. I am just typing from a finger, so might be possible that handwriting is not so much clear, but I think it is understandable. So construction audit, you can say an audit in real estate area, which is to ensure not only the physical development of a building, but appropriate project billing along with the life of the project. It mostly includes adhering to the, say, terms of the contract, subcontractor, or any other thing. This may also include remittance of the payment, collected the appropriate payment, and about the various types of internal projects. So this is also one of the area whereby as an internal auditor, we can be helpful for the organization. We should become the eye of the organization in a proper way, because communication, yes, it's important. And talking about the types, the last part is special investigation. Someone may say it as forensic part, but I will not take special investigation as a forensic part, because forensic part is different and investigation, special investigation is different. Forensic means organization knows that fraud is there. An organization wants to get into more deep about that fraud. Means organization having the knowledge of, yes, there is a fraud. Yes, I will. There is some question I will ask. I will answer it. But before that, let me complete the special investigation point also. So talking about the special investigation, so I will say in the many of the audit, sometimes we have no clear indication of fraud, but some areas require more digging. Sometimes what had happened, you can say there are very easy fruits which are available to the organization as a simple thing. And sometimes if the things are very much clear, it give rise to a fact that a special investigation need to be conducted, although there is no clear cut fraud, but special things need to be checked. A company is having a branch office in any location and branch employees are very much free. They are all doing right work. There is no performances error, but they are least concerns about the targets, but they are matching. Means employees are not really want to perform well, but the circumstances are like that they are performing well, the results are well, I will say. It's something like we have not prepared to play a game, but we wins because the situation goes like that. But is this a thing which a management need to know? In some cases, it might make sense for an internal auditor to evaluate a special circumstances that occur only once, or you can say a very little one. It includes hiring of employees, complaining of staffs, reporting by the managers. So you need to be a selective one before advising the entity to go for special investigation in any area. And yes, believe me, this is one of the key areas where you can really work well, really, and give the results. Give the results. If you will do internal audit, identify the area, give to the management, yes, this area requires special digging, and you give to the management, yes, how the entity performance can be improved. Believe me, you will end up with a right solution and management will always believe you. But you need to do this. There is one question that whether internal auditor appointed in a company are supposed to send their report to statutory auditor. I will say no. Internal auditor and statutory auditor are entirely different. Internal auditor is appointed by the management and external auditor is the man of the shareholder. So in a company, it is not required that internal auditor should share his report to statutory auditor. Yes, when statutory auditor comes, he can ask for the report of internal auditor, and for the better understanding of the company, he may talk to internal auditor or can take input of internal auditor. There is one more question, that format of internal audit report, if any, prescribed by ICAI, please explain. ICAI, if you go to the standards on auditing, there is a I will say not a proper format, but yes, there are basic content. There are some basic content which you can just go to the ICAI page and download it, that what exactly the internal audit report looks like. Because in my view, You can say the format of external audit can be same, but the format of the format of internal audit will be different at every entity, because every entity is having a different types of control system. So there is no lawfully prescribed format for internal auditing. Okay, so if any more question will be there, please, I will just request the technical team to let me know. Okay. So again, now let's take an example of an internal audit assignment. I'm just now showing you how the role is changing. Please listen this carefully. So you are doing normal internal audit of an entity. You have taken the knowledge of client business. You have identified the various types of risk. You have understand the various types of trends. You have identified the various types of reporting to be done. Now what you need to do, you need to understand and discuss new areas, new possible areas whereby entity can grow. Means, in easy language, I am saying, sit with the management and talks about sales of the entity, whatever the product or service the entity is giving. This is the changing role of internal audit. I am just saying in a simple word, sales. I am not saying how to grow sales. I am not saying what are the current sales. I am saying the process of doing sale and recording the sale need to be discussed and discussed with the management, that how the process of recording the sales, only talking about sales, how the process of recording the sales can be improved. Process of recording, friends, I am not again targeting how to increase the sales. Management is very much concerned about the increasing of sale, I understand, but parallelly also concerned about recording of sales. For example, if we go to a retail store, we understand this, yes, there are, say, shopper stop is there, and it is recording the sale in a proper prescribed manner, whereby every item has been recorded with the, or been keyed with the lock, and if a customer buy any item, the process is he need to go to the billing section, makes a bill payment, need to unlock the that magnet, and accordingly take away the point. The billing is being done at the billing counter, and the sale has been recorded by the entity with the 15 days. You can say a sales return policy. After 15 days, sale gets recorded. This is the entire process of the shopper stop. Can you give the areas where this process can be improved? Yes, this is the area. If you will say so, no, sir, this area is like that where we can't challenge the process. Yes, this is the area where it is very hard to challenge the process. I'm saying this is very hard. Then that is not your part. Just bifurcate. If you are seeing that, yes, the recording of process is perfectly fine according to you, then you need not to record it. But here I will say, I am not the internal auditor of Shopper Stop, but what I observed during purchasing various items from Shopper Stop, there is a clear-cut lacuna. Clear-cut lacuna. Although management is not facing losses, that's why no internal control system is there. But whenever I got an opportunity of being the internal auditor of Shopper Stop, or you get the opportunity, just advise to the Shopper Stop that what exactly the lacuna is. So the lacuna is, if you will see that process of bill, just understand, I will write it as invoice. The process of making invoice at the Shopper Stop or any retail area, and the process of removing the magnet is been done by whom? The person who is sitting at billing counter is making the invoice, and the person next to him is removing the magnet. Means there is no interlink between invoice and removing the magnet from the clothes. Friends, understand, this is a clear-cut lacuna in the retail store. Although it is not resulting into loss, that's why management is least concerned. But the internal auditor of that particular store or that particular organization need to mention this thing. The lacuna is, suppose I am an employee of that organization and I want to take that cloth outside for one day. What I can do, I will just go to the billing counter because I have access to it, and will remove the magnet from the machine, using the machine, and just take away the material with me, use it for one day. Next day I will again come to the organization and put the magnet back to the clothes. Whether it can be done or not, yes, it's a big question. It's a big question. Yes, it can be done. It can be done. Then get, again, I will just explain in a very better way what I have observed and what I can do. My friend is working at a retail store. Okay. My friend is working at a retail store, and yes, I go to him and just say, these are the clothes, remove the magnet without billing. After one day, I will just, next day morning, I will return it to you. So here the process is physical verification at the closure of the physical counting, I will say, at the closure of the store of the entire material need to be done, which resulting into an exercise. So we as an auditor can suggest the process of invoicing and removing the magnet can be made separately or can be made in more effective way. We will discuss in any of the session when I will take the AI in internal auditing. Yes, there is a session in which I will show you how we can use various AI tools using these types of thing, and you identify the shortcomings. So there is one more question, that is the role of internal auditor and pre-auditor remains same? I didn't able to get that what exactly the meaning of pre-auditor is there. Uh, I think pre-auditor, if you want to, if you can explain that what exactly the pre-auditor you want to say. But okay. So these are some things. So before reaching to the conclusion, I'm just coming on the future of internal audit, because the changing role of internal auditing is that only. So as an internal auditor, just summarizing the thing, you must understand that you as an internal auditor must be the part of a advisory of management. Also, you should work like that only. If you didn't work like that, again, I will say the problems may happen. The problems may happen. So before coming to the conclusion part, just one more thing which I want to share with you. I think the slide is not there, so I will just type it. Friend, one more area where internal audit need to develop a skill is working on the cost effectiveness of the organization. Every entity wants cost effectiveness. We learn it from starting from the 11th class, where we learn about the business studies. What is cost effectiveness? Yes, the expenses done by the entity and the results must be matched together. What we call that, if we have purchased an item of rupees 1 lakh, it should look like 1 lakh only. That's the thing. That's the thing which is known as cost effectiveness. So how to achieve cost effectiveness? I mean to say, suppose you are buying a mobile of rupees 1 lakh, and in market there is a mobile of rupees 10,000. What is the difference between the mobile of 1 lakh or 10,000? If we talk about a company is having work of taking calls, incoming or outgoing, and you want to provide a mobile set to your employees, whether you should go for rupees 10,000 or you should go for rupees 1 lakh, I will say depends on the type of employee. Depends on the type of employee. If any normal executive is there, company may go for 10,000. For more senior executive, 25,000. Or for say a head CEO, company may go for rupees 1 lakh. So it is a discretion of the company. But how you can achieve the cost effectiveness as a part of your knowledge, as a part of your, you can say, a CA knowledge, you can just understand the entity and comment on where the cost can be reduced. Don't ever use cheaper method. Just say like, I have seen the entity in which an advice given by the internal auditor is like, you should not use tea, you can say tea pouches to employees. Rather than there is an outsider tea vendor, entity is having 1,000 employees in the entire building. So an outside vendor is there who will roam and go into the entity, very cheap method. So I'm not talking these types of suggestion. I'm talking that where the cost can be saved using various types of new technologies, using various types of method, and sometimes protecting the future loss also require additional cost. And believe me, friends, entity is always ready if you able to satisfy that entity that this cost will protect your future loss. That is also known as cost effectiveness. So don't ever go there is a difference between the word cost effectiveness and cost reduction. Everyone talks about cost reduction, but I am focusing on cost effectiveness point. So don't ever try to give consultancies on cost reduction. Always try to give consultancies on cost effectiveness as an internal auditor. Cost effectiveness can be like, if an entity is using pirated software. So you go to the entity, you have seen that some of the machines having a pop-up message coming that Windows is pirated or not proper, and you suggested that entity it is possible that Windows may stop provide you services in that system and may hack your may stop you to use the system, and you advise the company that use proper software so that it will uh, get benefited in future. It is cost effectiveness advice. Although we are advising that yes, you need to spend more, but it is cost effectiveness considering the future possible loss. So identify those areas whereby the future possible loss can be stopped by using the new resource. It is also cost effectiveness. Further, wherever you find that additional cost is being incurred, advise the entity the alternate method that can be used, but don't ever advise for cost reduction. What we as a professional do, we always talks about cost reduction. Yes, I have seen in 90% cases, I have seen the internal audit report. If the point is there, and if a point is there about costing, 90% of the cases talks about the cost reduction. Nobody talks about the cost effectiveness. So we need to take these things as a changing role of internal audit. And friend, why to go for cost reduction? Whether our money is being used, it's the entity. And believe me, every entity is having money. But in front of everyone, we just say like that, yes, oh, there is always a problem, money problem, money problem. And it's a human nature. It's a human nature. But when to grow, the question comes about for the growth of business in a systematic way. Businessmen will never see money as a problem. Yes, our fees can be the, you can say he can talk about the cost reduction, but if you will show the benefit of the internal audit, it will result into a cost effectiveness for him. So taking on the example of the cost effectiveness, have you ever heard about the system of Domino's Pizza? That how Domino's is maintaining the stock of the base of raw material which is being used. I will just tell you, Domino's keeps the track of the raw material packets issued by the Domino's to every of its branch, and also keeps the track of the order received by him. Suppose Domino's at branch 1 issued 10 kgs of raw material and set the standard that for a pizza 400 grams being used for a smaller pizza, 600 grams being used for a medium sized pizza, and say 800 grams being used for big size pizza. And if an order comes, everything is on real time. If an order comes to the branch 1, it will reduce, say small pizza orders come, it will reduce 400 gram automatically from the raw material as and when pizza gets delivered to the to the customer. Here the organization is keeping real time tracking that which branch is having how many stock. It was suggested by the internal auditor. Do you know, if you will go to the history and what Domino's become with that advice, that at entire Domino's center you will find one key thing. One key thing, if you ever come to know that the process of making raw material is being centralized and it be distributed all over the branches, and the taste of entire Domino's pizza, you will find the same taste at every center. Why it is so? Because all the raw material which was distributed, the base was from the common material manufactured at a centralized premises. So with that advice, just take a look how the company grows. And that internal auditor is now having a good position as an internal auditor only, and from that time, from the last 25 years, doing audit of the entity. So that is the power of consultancy. You never know that if your advice, how your advice, the cost effectiveness advice is going to help the organization. So cost effectiveness doesn't mean cost reduction. So this was my key remark, you can say, during the today's presentation also, that changing role of internal auditing. So this was all, you can say, conclusion from my side, whereby we have just understand the changing role of internal auditor and how in a dynamic business environment we can use the various types of technologies, we can use various types of skills, we can use various types of, you can say, advanced things to convert challenges into opportunity. So with this, with a clear focus, as an internal auditor, I have tried to share the approach in this today's seminar. I just tried to share the approach that how internal auditor can change his role and make one more and make one step more to make a client ahead. There's a question in one of my clients, sale is stagnant for last 2-3 years. Can we advise them for improvement as an internal auditor? Yes, definitely. Sir, definitely. If in a client is having a constant sale, as an internal auditor, take a time with him and just understand what exact the process is. And you can advise him how to grow up the sales. Let's take one step ahead, or let's change the existing mechanism. There is a one more question. Cost optimization is optimal, is what is the most appropriate? As told, cost optimization means the money which is spent by an entity will result into either a direct benefit or will result into stopping the future loss, will be the cost optimization. So cost optimization means, again, these two things. So this will be the more appropriate answer for the cost optimization. Anything else? Because I am done with the presentation, and I would like to thank you, the committee of the Internal Auditing Board, for allowing me the opportunity to share my thoughts. In this presentation, I have tried to share my thoughts as an internal auditor. I tried not to make it a technical session whereby we are studying the formats, we are taking up on the standards, we are taking up on the various things, because these are all things which we can discuss, but these are some personal things which I have observed and which, as a speaker, I want to share, that how we can change our role. So again, thank you to the entire thing. So anything else? So yes, Chirag, if no more question is there, can we end up the session? Okay, so thank you everyone for your patience hearing, and thank you again the ICAI for this. Thank you.